Welcome. Episode 1. Man, it's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time now. Podcast, some type of videos, something on YouTube. Finally got a little setup here. Got everything I need. So, episode 1, here it is. We'll see how this all plays out. Still gonna try to figure out as I go how to maneuver through the episode. Got this here. Definitely gonna try to stay under an hour. Don't think it'll be that long. Maybe half that. I don't know. We'll see. You guys may hear some little claws clacking on this pavement down here because I got a couple of new friends with me. We'll get into that later on. But today is April 2nd. The month of March was pretty crazy, pretty eventful. So we'll start at the beginning. The beginning of March, I moved into a new place where I am right now. It's another reason why, it kind of pushed me to start this podcast. I had a cool little space down here to start it out, get it set up for this. And by episode 2, I might not even be in this place. I'll get into that here in just a second. But so the beginning of March, my old roommate and I, Tevin, we had been living together for probably, I think it was 3 years, and he had gotten a place he was getting a place with his girl, so I had to, find a loan spot, and so I found a duplex down here in the historical part of town, and it's real nice. It's 3 levels, it had all the space I needed. I got it set up real. Just real cozy, real perfect for how I wanted it. So spring break was coming up, we were going to have the time off, and even at the beginning of March, this, the whole coronavirus stuff was really starting to pick up some speed, and, there was talks if, we'll even be back in school by the time spring break's over. And, so, I figured I'd have some free time to myself, just to relax, and figured I would get something to keep me occupied, while I was at home, because there was talks about, being quarantined and not being able to leave the house, and so people told me, get some animals, get some pets. I'm like, well, I can't have pets here at this place. Haven't had dogs in a long time. I don't really want a cat. So I figured something, real low maintenance. How about a fish tank? I can get an aquarium, get some really cool fish. There's plenty of cool fish you can get. So I started looking online just at different things I would need, and looked on the Facebook Market, Craigslist, just different places I could buy stuff. Ended up finding a 55-gallon tank for cheap, real cheap. I got it for I think it was $50. It was the tank and a stand for it. So, okay, that's a great start. $50 for a giant tank, do that. So I got the tank, got all the accessories and everything I needed. Went and got a few little small fish, and they gave me the whole rundown of how to start out a freshwater tank for the first time. I have to let the water go through the cycle, to get the bacteria growing in it, and I need to do that before I get any type of scaleless fish, because some of the fish I asked about were fish that wouldn't really do too well in a cycle. So I just got some small, little BS fish to start it out. So that's been fun. I mean, that's for the past 2 weeks. That's what I've been, just kind of playing around with, and it's been keeping me busy. Um, so that was probably in the middle of March when I started that. Um, I hit a man with my car during that time. I won't skip over that part of the month. I was driving down, what was it, Seneca, and I was probably 40, 50 yards from the stoplight, and it was at a red light, and the man decided to cross the street, not at the intersection, and he was wearing his work uniform, so he was running. He was late to work, I'm assuming. Didn't really stop and talk to him, but as I'm getting over into the turning lane, he decided to cross through traffic and jumped into the turning lane and hit him dead on. I hit a man with my car. That was the first time I've ever done it. If you're wondering, it looks exactly like how it does in the movies, like to a T. Yeah, I, I, I hit him and I stopped as I was hitting him, obviously, but he flew probably 10, 15 feet. Both of his shoes flew off. Um, he after he stood up, this man grabbed his shoes, turned around and looked at me, gave me a thumbs up, and kept on running. So I'm just sitting there like, what just happened? I I didn't even know what to think. I wasn't really scared. I was just like, is this real right now? Is this fake? Like as soon as it was happening, I was thinking to myself, like I've seen videos of like people trying to like get insurance scams and like jump in front of a car and like claim, oh, broke my neck or I hurt my butt or something. I don't know. And that was the very first thing that popped in my mind. But he stood up right afterwards, grabbed his shoes and gave me a thumbs up, kept on running. He was late to work. He could not be late again. He was on his last strike, and if he would have been late again, that was it for him. Um, but no, so I just kind of sat there for a minute, just in my car. I looked at the car next to me, and the man he was sitting in his car, and at the same time we both just mouthed to each other, and like that was it. And the life went on. I ended up turning, going home, and yeah, I ended up actually seeing him a few days later. I was at a Quick Trip, which was in by that same intersection, and I don't know if he recognized me, but I for sure recognized him because he was in his same work uniform, walking from where his job is to the Quick Trip, and I saw he kind of made eye contact with me for a second. I don't know. That was the last time I've been in that intersection. I don't want to run over anybody else. But so yeah. So anyways, I got some fish. Um, I don't know how many of you guys know about fish. I got some gouramis. I got some black skirts and some white skirts. Just smaller fish, just to get the process going, so I can upgrade to some angelfish and some the algae eaters. What are they called? Starts with a P. Um, but anyway, some of those bigger fish that don't do too well in when the water's going through the cycle. I'm not supposed to get those. What are these things called? Plecostomus? Something like that. Anyways, I'm gonna get some of those, some more colorful fish, and really have my tank something to see. So I'm excited about that. So, anyways, that was supposed to be um, my company. You know, during this whole quarantine thing, that was what was going to keep me busy. You know, that was what I was going to take care of. Uh, I just don't. It's weird because people kept telling me, you know, I need to get dogs, but I can't have dogs here. I wasn't able to have dogs at my last place. Can't have dogs here in the historical home. They want to keep it so you know they don't chew up the floorboards or the stairs or anything like that. So that was always I always had good enough excuses to not get dogs, right? Um, so what's today? Thursday. Today is Thursday. I think it was on Monday. I was going out my back door and I saw my landlords out there. They were digging up some flowers, you know, or they're taking out the fence or something like that. And there were a couple dogs out there. I just assumed that the dogs belonged to them, you know, and they were just out there. You know, it was a nice day. And so I step outside and um, I see the dogs, two pit bulls, two beautiful pit bulls, one black, one white. And my landlords, they tell me these dogs just came up to him, and they didn't have a leash, they didn't have a collar, they're not chipped, neither of them are fixed. Um, One of them, the female, her teats are hanging, like her nipples, like she just had puppies not long ago, maybe within the past month and a half. Um, well groomed dogs, very well behaved, and so we kind of just like got a hold of them because my place now it's not far from a busy street, so we didn't want them running out there, you know, and possibly getting hit by a car or anything, you know, tragic like that. And so we kind of just we wrangled him up, put him in the garage, and held on to him. We took pictures, posted it online, posted it on Facebook, on the Lost and Found pages. We put flyers around the neighborhood saying we lost these dogs. Does anybody know who they belong to? Um, the posts on Facebook got hundreds of shares. The one I posted on the Lost and Found was up to 400 shares. The one on my personal page, I think, was at like almost 140. Um, and we waited 3 days. We've waited 3 days so far. Come here. Oh, this white dog sees reflections and just goes crazy. Hey. Um, so yeah, we waited plenty of time and never heard anything. The only responses that we would get were people saying, "Oh, is that a boy? I've been looking for a boy. You know, I need a female, a white female, something like." That's not why I'm posting these. Like, I'm not trying to just get rid of these dogs or, you know, give them to someone to breed them or fight them or whatever. Like, these are good dogs. They need homes. And they do not go anywhere without the other one. They are inseparable. You can tell they came from either the same litter or they grew up together just in the same household, but they are two peas in a pod. Absolutely. So the first night they stayed at my landlord's house. The second night I texted him and asked him if I could take him on a walk. Or the second morning I asked him if I could take him on a walk, and then she was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And so I took him, took him over to my mom's house, and they were great with my nephews. And they're just the sweetest dogs. And when I was taking him back, I talked to him and said, if you guys don't mind, I can keep him, for the night and take care of him, until we figure out something to do with him. And she was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Let me check, with my husband, and we can see, what the options are." And but they let me take him for the night. Ended up keeping him for 2 nights in my house. Great dogs, no issues. They did amazing, no problems. So then the third day, of me keeping him. I had stepped outside. Well, actually, this was today. The third day was today. Stepped outside this morning to take him out. Had him on the leash. My landlord just happened to be just right across the street, talking to one of the neighbors, and they came over to where I was at with the dogs, and we all just kind of talked for a little bit. And the husband was like, well, we got to figure out what we're going to do with these dogs. And he said, I know you just moved in here and, just got all settled, but how would you like to move to this house right here across the street and keep the dogs for yourself? And I was like, absolutely. Absolutely. Come here. Oh, these dogs are crazy. So the place I'm in now, it's a 1-bedroom duplex. The house across the street is a 2-bedroom house, and it has a huge backyard. And we're actually going to redo the fence, so it's perfect for these dogs. And they're not. It's going to be the same rent every month. Just we're just going to switch the address on the lease, and just just got settled here. Honestly, a couple days ago, I finished unpacking the last box. I'm probably going to start moving next week to the new place. But I mean, it's absolutely worth it if I get to keep these 2 dogs. They're already so attached to me, and I'm so attached to them already. So yeah, it's just weird. It's weird how it all just played out like that to where I have all this free time in order to dedicate to these dogs, to get them trained, to get them acclimated to me and to the new home and new surroundings and being home by themselves, and just get them trained really how I want to be. No other time in my adult life would I have a chance like this, to where I have to stay home for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can't go to work for weeks and weeks and weeks. So it's like, there's no other perfect time than right now for these 2 dogs to have showed up at my back door. And on top of that, what are the chances that this house across the street, the people moved out 2 days ago? That is just how it all played out, is insane. These dogs show up 3 days ago. They end up staying with me for 2 days. Within those 2 days, the house across the street opens up. My landlords just so happen to also own that house. They ask me if I want to move into this house instead so I can keep these dogs. No change in rent. It's may even be a bigger house, giant backyard. I mean, I'm not really one to believe in fate or like destiny or anything like that, but it's just like the cards, I don't even know the saying, everything fell into place just how it should with these dogs. So pretty crazy. And I've been waiting these past 3 days. We just got them harnesses today and leashes and collars, they've had collars, but I got them some good collars and some good harnesses today, just because that's when they told me that I can keep the dogs. So I haven't been thinking of any names. I haven't wanted to name them anything yet. But I have to give credit to my mom, because earlier today when she brought over the harnesses for him, we were sitting there, we were talking about it, what I could name them. And she had mentioned Mamba and Gigi. And that was it. There was no other Thinking Necessary. Those are the names. My boy, my black one is Mamba, Black Mamba. The white one, the female, is Gigi. And I was like, man, it sent when she said that, it just kind of sent chills down my body a little bit, because I mean that was tough. That was tough for me when the accident happened with Kobe, because I mean growing up he was my idol. You know, he was a superhero. Basketball was always my go-to. It's what I've played ever since I could walk. You know, it always just kept me focused in school. You know, kept me busy out of school, so I wasn't doing stupid stuff. You know, Kobe was always, just in my eyes, he was the greatest basketball player ever. You know, he was just like the role model that I've always looked up to. And so, yeah, Mamba and Gigi, this is the unveiling of their names for everyone that's been asking me. That is it. Pretty crazy. Crazy how life works sometimes. Oh man, but what else? Yeah, so trying to figure out, you know, what type of segments I'll do in these in the podcast. I wanted to do one or two, you know, current events, something fun, something other, at least right now, something other than the coronavirus. That's what everything is. And when you turn on a computer or look on your phone, something about the coronavirus. So I tried to find something a little different, but so there was a man in Oregon who went to a little convenience store to check his lottery ticket, and he ended up winning a free ticket off of it. So he got his free ticket. The clerk handed him back like the receipt stub, whatever you call it, and the ticket was left on the table, and he walked out. And you know, a few seconds later, whatever, the clerk ended up seeing it, ran out there, called him back in, gave him his ticket. You know, a few days went by, whatever, and it says in the article that the clerk remembers she only sold 3 tickets for this Mega Millions or whatever it was in Oregon. She only sold 3 tickets that day. This man ended up winning $6.3 million off of that ticket that he damn near left sitting on the counter for somebody else. And I'm just trying to think how pissed off I'd be if I just left that ticket and lost out on 6.3 million just because of a careless, you know, not even paying attention. But even better, if I won $6.3 million off of a free ticket. Oh, boy. These dogs will be living real good. Real good. But what I would do with 6.3 million, I was just curious how much you think you could spend in a day. Just in one day. Just say online shopping. Since we're quarantined right now, you know, nobody can leave. Online shopping, how much do you think you could spend in a day? Stuff that you would actually want or use, you know, not just a house in Tampa or a basketball team in LA. What could you actually use? I think easily I could spend $50,000 in a day on essential stuff that I would actually use or want. $50K easily. You can check eBay cart right now probably got 10 grand in there just in stuff that I could use around the house, you know? So yeah, 50K easily. I don't know. You guys tell me how much you think you could use, or how much you think you could spend in one day if you just had if you just won 6.3 million. I wish that would be quite the surprise right there. Um, what else? Oh, okay. I forgot to. So the dogs yesterday, I left them in the house and I stepped outside. I just wanted to see what they would be like if I was to leave them alone in the house. So I set up my phone. I set it up like in the kitchen to where I could see like through the house just to see how they would react. And so I stepped outside the back porch, left them inside, went down steps a little bit. All of a sudden, I hear, and I'm like, okay. So I kind of go down the driveway a little bit. Guys, I'm not lying to you. A full-grown horse comes running down my street. I'm just like, I almost didn't believe it at first. I live damn near very close to downtown. Granted, I'm in Wichita, in the Midwest. I get it. But a full grown stallion of a horse is just trotting down my street by itself. No one's on it. No one's chasing it. It's not chasing anything. It's just running down my street. I don't do drugs, but I'm like, maybe somebody slipped me something. Maybe these dogs have it out for me. They put some of those special kibbles and bits in my meal. I don't know. But that's the end of the story. That was it. I don't know. I went back inside. I was like, listen, maybe I do need to just stay quarantined for a little while because I'm seeing some stuff out here. I step outside one day, 2 pit bulls just come walking up to me. You know, they're mine now. A couple days after that, a horse comes running down the street. Tomorrow, I'm not going outside. I'm not. I'm good. I don't know what it'll be. I don't want to be abducted by any aliens. It just keeps progressing, is what I'm saying. So I think the quarantine is probably the best thing for me right now in this neighborhood. So, yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't know what else there is. I don't know what else is going to pop up on me next. But something else I wanted to do for a segment in my podcast is memories. So I figured a good way for me to do that is go on my Facebook memories. So I went on there and saw 9 years ago today. Was it not the best of times for me? But 9 years ago today, I posted this picture. I'm at a wildlife park called Tanganyika. And this is back when it was called Lemur Island. And you would cross this little bridge and, you'd pay however much, $1, whatever, and they'd give you like a handful of like dried cranberries or something. And you would just sit down and the lemurs would just come up to you and they'd jump on your lap. They'd, take the little berries right out of your hands, and you weren't supposed to pet them, but I mean, they're all on you, so you don't even have to pet them. It's just fun just with that right there. And I mean, I just think it's cool just to be able to look back a little bit and see where you were at, this time in the past, and just think about different things that were going on, where you were at in life, and how far you've came, or what you wanted to do back then. And just looking at the picture, it just reminds me that, I mean, I don't know, there's just so much time for you to do what you need to do, for whatever dreams you have. But even in the same breath, you don't have all the time in the world. Anything could happen. You have to take advantage of the time that you do have. At this time in 2011, I was 19? Yeah, 19. And I'm just thinking I'd traveled maybe, to 2 or 3 different states at this time. I wasn't even interested in traveling. All my interests back then, only thing I cared about was girls and basketball. That was it. I wasn't worried about my future at all. I wasn't worried about seeing the world. I wasn't worried about, being financially stable or, bettering myself for the next day. I was just young. I was young and just enjoying life and, living day by day. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy to look back on that. Oh, scary times. Even scarier. Let's go back another year. 10 years ago today, in 2010, I had posted this picture. Super embarrassing. So sorry my video messed up. Don't mind the hourglass over here. But what I was saying was, if you go back 10 years ago, I was just, I was thinking I was hot shit with Photoshop. I had just gotten into it. I had taken a class at Northwest. And this picture right here, boy, not good. Not good. Just bad all around. The hairline, the beard, I guess you can call it that. You guys wonder why I keep my hair short. It's because of my hairline. Not a good look for me. So I've adopted the bald look, just from here on out in life. It's easier. Not too much upkeep with it, Simple. But yeah, this picture right here, this was 10 years ago today. I posted this picture. When you look back and you think you look good, or you think you're doing something, and it's like, man, I don't even know what to tell you. Young Aaron. But the girls still liked me back then. I don't know what happened or what I was doing. Nothing impressive. That's for damn sure. Anyways, besides the pictures, the statuses that I was posting wasn't anything special. I posted a quote from Dr. Seuss. It says, "It's a troublesome world. All the people who are in it are troubled with troubles almost every minute. You ought to be thankful a whole heap and lot for the places and people you're lucky you're not." Dr. Seuss was a genius, to say the least. I love his quotes. I'm sure if I keep doing this, I'll run across more Dr. Seuss quotes. But just, you ought to be thankful a whole heap and lot for the places and people you're lucky you're not. Basically, things could be worse. Things could always be worse. So, be appreciative of who you have in your life. what you have in your life. Even if you don't have $6.3 million, just to blow or just in your bank account, like, there's people who have less than what you have right now. There's people who are in worse positions. So be thankful a whole heap and lot for the places and people you're lucky you're not. That's real stuff right there. That was 8 years ago when I posted that. 7 years ago, I posted, when you get that urge to eat something just because it's there? That's why I couldn't be a gynecologist. Stupid. Always trying to be funny. Always a funny guy. But I think that's it. I think that's it for podcast number 1, episode 1. What do you guys think? Suggestions, anything on different topics I could touch on, different subjects, different things to do. Let me know. What do you guys think? My Facebook is, everything will be linked below. My Facebook, facebook.com/AaronBaker316. Twitter and Instagram is rarely_ordinary. I'll have it all linked below. But yeah, until next time, until episode 2, and I most likely won't be here. I'll be moving out probably next week, across the street with the other house, the new house with my pups, Mamba and Gigi. So thank you guys for tuning in and sitting through. We made it about almost 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Not bad for the first one. We'll work on this. We'll work on it. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.